With 110,531,300 passengers in year 2019, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International in USA, called Kilo Alpha Tango Lima, was the busiest airport in the world before the corona. Sadly, because of the pandemic, it lost the first place to Guangzhou Baiyun International in China. However, it is still the busiest airport in the USA. It has 5 runways, 7 terminals with a total 195 gates. On average, about 300,000 passengers would go through this airport daily before Corona. Atlanta International covers about 1,902 hectares of land. It is about 19,020,000 square meters. The story of this magnificent airport began in 1925 with 116 hectares of leased land at an abandoned racetrack named the Atlanta Speedway. The mayor was convinced to make it an airport for the growing city. It was named KATL Field after the former Atlanta mayor. The first flight into the future Atlanta International was in 1926. It was a Florida Airways mail plane flying from Jacksonville, Florida. In 1930, Delta began service to KATL Field. Its first control tower opened in 1939. Atlanta was busy from the beginning. By the end of 1930, it was the 3rd busiest airport in the USA after the New York City and Chicago, with 16 aircraft arriving and departing daily. In October 1940, the US government declared KATL Airfield a military airfield. During the World War II, it doubled in size and set record of 1,700 takeoffs and landings in a single day, making it the busiest USA airport in terms of flight operation. In 1942, KATL Field was renamed to Atlanta Municipal Airport, and by 1948, more than 1 million passengers passed through it. In 1957, Atlanta saw its first jet airliner, a Sud Aviation KATL prototype. In 1957, work began on the new $21 million terminal, which opened in 1961. There were 6 pier concourses radiating from the central building. The terminal was the largest in the country and could handle over 6 million travelers a year. First year, however, 9.5 million passengers passed through it. In 1971, the airport was named William B. Hartsfield Atlanta Airport after the former Atlanta mayor, who had died that year. Later that year, due to growing of international service, the airport was renamed to William B. Hartsfield Atlanta International Airport. The construction of the new $500 million midfield terminal began in January 1977. The terminal opened in 1980 on time and under budget. It was designed to process 55 million passengers yearly. It covered 23 hectares. In 1984, 4th parallel runway was completed and another runway extended to 3,624 meters the following year. In 2003, Atlanta City Council decided to rename the airport to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, the name it is still having, to honor the former mayor of Atlanta City, Maynard Jackson, who died in 2003. In 2001, the construction of new over 2,700 meters long runway 10/28 began. It costed $1.28 billion and opened in 2006. With that runway complete, it was and still is one of the few airports which can perform a triple parallel landing. Along with the new runway, a new control tower was built to cover the entire length of the runway. The new control tower is the tallest one in the USA with 121 meters. The old tower, however, was demolished on August 5, 2006. Since the opening of the newest gate in 2012, the airport has 192 gates, which is the most in the world. In December 2015, the airport became the first airport to serve 100 million passengers in a year. Of course, this all would not have happened if it wasn't for the fact that Atlanta is a very big city and Delta has its main hub there. Only Delta alone has already over 1,000 flights a day to 225 different destinations from Atlanta, making it the biggest airline hub in the world. It is also a focus city for low-cost airlines like Southwest or Frontier. Despite such a long history and quantity of aircraft at Atlanta International, there were only 4 serious incidents. On May 23, 1960, a Delta Airlines Convair CV-880 crashed on takeoff, killing 4 crew members. Luckily, it was only a training flight, so there were no passenger fatalities. On February 1969, a flight from Atlanta was hijacked and forced to fly to Cuba. Luckily, there were no fatalities and the plane was allowed to fly back to USA. On April 4, 1977, Southern Airways Flight 242 was descending to Atlanta and ingested hail in its both engines, resulting in failure of them. Pilot errors and poor weather conditions led to an emergency landing on a highway, which ended up striking cars and others and killing 72 people. On January 18, 1990, a Boeing 727 collided with a King Air on landing row. The King Air was taxiing when the Boeing 727 crashed at them at high speed. The Boeing 727 wing impacted the King Air's roof, killing the pilot of the King Air, but leaving the passenger alive. Nobody on board the Boeing 727 was harmed. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you made it until this point, then you probably liked it. So please leave a like and maybe watch my other videos and eventually subscribe. Thank you, have a great day.